Welcome everybody to a look at a brand new 4K limited edition release from Arrow Video, and it is 2007's Trick or Treat. So this is directed by Michael Dougherty, who also did the really rather fantastic Krampus, and he did the second film in the Godzilla Monsterverse series, Godzilla King of the Monsters. So this is an anthology horror film, clocking in at 82 minutes long. Stars the likes of Brian Cox, who was in the likes of Manhunter, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, The Ring, the American remake, and X-Men 2. It also stars Anna Paquin even, who was in 4 of the X-Men films as Rogue, the original trilogy, and Days of Future Past. So 4 interwoven stories occur on Halloween, and an everyday high school principal has a secret life as a serial killer. A college virgin might have just met the one guy for her. A group of teenagers pull off a mean prank, and a bitter old recluse receives an uninvited guest. So, yeah, although this has a couple of issues with it, they are ultimately overridden by the many positives that this film has. Chief among which is the way this goes about being an anthology film, as this doesn't do the tried and tested um, narrative structure that we've seen in many of anthology film, where there's maybe a wraparound narrative, so something at the beginning, maybe something in the middle of each story, and then an end. But then the actual stories themselves are quite boxed off. They don't really, they never really influences the next story, or have characters from those stories in the next story. Whereas this mixes all of that up. So yeah, the stories are in and of themselves somewhat separate to the rest of the narrative, but you see certain scenes happen in one story, and then that scene will also happen in the next story, or the last story, or any of the other stories from a different perspective. So there's like one scene where our school principal, for instance, is burying a few of his victims in the garden, and a neighbor hears him, and you have a conversation, and then that neighbor ends up being part of one of the other stories, and then you see the other side of that conversation happen. So yeah, it's really really cool in the way that it does that. I also like the kind of like comic book aspect to it as well, where it has like um, some animated scenes, and when it says like earlier, it looks like in a comic book kind of font. So yeah, it's all really really rather done in that regard, and that helps it be unique and engrossing, because you're looking for those elements to reoccur, or appear again. The production is also great. The Halloween atmosphere is executed effectively. The pacing is on point. The cinematography is really good. The score is excellent. There's plenty of tension. There is some creepy imagery. I like the design of Sackboy, who is on the cover here, and it is engrossing throughout. Now, sure, characterization is not really a thing, and only a few of the cast members leave any sort of impression. Brian Cox, Anna Paquin, and Dylan Baker, I think he's called. They're the only 3 that really make a massive impression. But this is really enjoyable, regardless of those negative aspects. So, yeah, really nice to have a 4K release from our video that hasn't been released in Blu-ray by them before. We've seen many of their 4K releases be versions that we've already had in Blu-ray. Exorcist 3 we've talked about earlier this month. So yeah, it's nice to have a fully fledged release from them. And this release also has some really well nifty new artwork for it as well, which I really really enjoy. But I do like the original one as well. Now, what is a massive travesty is the fact that this was never given a wide release in likes of the US or the UK, which is weird when you consider this film cost about $12 million to make. So you'd figure, you spend that kind of money on a film, you want to make a return on it. But you can see why Michael Dougherty got the directing role for Godzilla King of the Monsters, because this film was also released by Legendary, who obviously produced those films. So yeah, can see why he got the job, considering he was more than impressive with this, and equally as impressive with Krampus. Granted, I prefer this and Krampus to these Godzilla film, but overall, yeah, both are still really rather great, as well as this one. So we also get a booklet with it as well. So that is Sackboy without his sack on. So in the booklet, you get your cast and your crew, then you get more than a sum of its parts, use and subversion of horror tropes in Trick or Treat by Becky Dark, Then we've also got Celebrating Trick or Treat's Epic Journey from Cult Film to Beloved Halloween Classic by Heather Wiskin. And then we've got About the Restoration as well. So, in terms of the restoration, it's been restored by Aurora Films and is presented in its original aspect ratio of 2:39:1 with 5.1 and stereo audio. The film is presented in 4K resolution in HDR10 and Dolby Vision. So the original 35mm camera negative, yes, it was shot on film, which is really cool. Was scanned in 4K 16-bit resolution at Warner Brothers and Motion Picture Imaging, and then the film was restored in 4K and color graded by Duplicatech, and all materials sourced for this new master were made available by Warner Brothers and Legendary. And quality control was completed by Pixel Logic. So yeah, they've clearly put some work into this film, which is always a good sign of a film, you know, being presented in a good way. That they've obviously put a lot of effort into it. We also have some art cards. Now each of them have that poster on the rear, and yeah, they are the following. Minor spoilers ahead. So that's Brian Cox. And I never recognised that it was actually Brian Cox when I originally watched this way back when. So yeah, interesting to finally realise that one. Sackboy. Is that behind the scenes? Yeah. So yeah, nicely done art cards there. And then we also get a poster, which I'm really pleased about because I do like both of the artworks that they've got with the slipcover and the case cover work. So that means we do get the slipcover artwork, which was the original poster, and the brand new artwork as well, which I absolutely adore. That is going to go up on my wall for the rest of this month at the very least, given it is obviously spooky season. And yeah, we also get extras on the disc itself, which include optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, brand new audio commentary by Michael Dougherty, moderated by James A. Janis and Chelsea Rebecca of the Dead Meat podcast, archival audio commentary by Michael Dougherty, conceptual artist Breen Burns, storyboard artist Simeon Wilkins, and composer Douglas Pipes. We also get Becoming Sam, a brand new interview with actor Quinn Lord. He plays Sackboy. He's really good in that physical aspect, because obviously you don't see his normal human face, but he's really good at the physicality of playing Sam, also known as Sackboy. Then we also get The Devil is in the Details, a brand new interview with production designer Mark Freeborn. The production detail is excellent as well. Like I said, it does have a great deal of Halloween atmosphere to it, which, yeah, is obviously helped by the production design. If Looks Could Kill, a brand new interview with director of photography Glenn McPherson. Designs to Die For, a brand new interview with costume designer Trish Keating. Back at the Moon, Bark at the Moon even, a brand new interview with creature designer Patrick Tatopoulos. And then Mark Freeburn remembers Bill Tazarek, a new tribute to the late makeup effects of designer. And then we get Tales of Folklore. Hang on. Yeah, Tales of Folklore and Fright, an archival feature with Michael Dougherty, Breen Burns, and Simeon Wilkins. Tales of Mischief and Mayhem, filming Trick or Treat, with an archival interview with Michael Dougherty on the making of the film. Sounds of Shock and Superstition. Scoring. Hang on, I always get the lines mixed up. Yeah, scoring Trick or Treat, an archival feature with Michael Dougherty and Douglas Pipes. Tales of Dread and Despair, releasing Trick or Treat, an archival feature with Michael Dougherty and Rob Galuzzo of the Shockwaves podcast, exploring the film's release and fandom. Season's Greetings, a short film from 1996 directed by Michael Dougherty with optional director commentary. The Lore and the Legends of Halloween, an archival featurette narrated by actor Brian Cox. School Bus VFX comparison, deleted and alternate scenes with optional commentary by Michael Dougherty. Fear Net promos, Samo Lantern, storyboard and conceptual artwork gallery, behind the scenes gallery, Monster Mash comic book set in the Trick or Treat universe trailer, and we've got the new artwork commissioned by Sarah Deck, as well as all of the physical extras that I've shown you already. So yeah, a massive. I'll even show you the back of the case just to prove it. A massive load of extras there, which is really really impressive. So again, that just gives you the confidence that Arrow Video and those working on the film in terms of getting this to release on 4K have put a lot of effort in, and yeah, great deal of effort. Yeah, I really like the physical extras. I love the poster in particular. I like the new artwork, and yeah, obviously the 4K itself looks great, and yeah, they've obviously given us plenty of extras on the discs to explore as well, which probably come to probably well over an hour at the very least in terms of the non-audio commentary stuff. But then obviously you got the audio commentaries on the film itself, and the film itself is obviously 82 minutes, so you double that at the very least. So yeah, plenty of hours of extras there to explore. So yeah, highly recommend this film. It's 4.5 stars out of 5 for me. Easily one of my favorite, Halloween centric kind of films. But now that I actually own it in a good version, I've only ever had it on DVD. It's now going to become a staple of Halloween for me, just like Krampus is a staple for Christmas for me. So yeah, nonetheless, so if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.